Have you ever wondered how to truly make the most of your time as a student? To not just survive, but actually thrive and set yourself up for success beyond graduation?
Today, we're joined by two inspiring guests who actively strive to do just that. We have Lauren and Jaeden, the 2024 to 2025 co-presidents of the University of Guelph Psychology Society.
Lauren and Jaeden share what it's like leading one of the most active psychology student-run clubs on campus, how they've helped build a strong community, and how they support students through all the ups and downs of university life.
They also talk about practical advice every student can benefit from mastering time management to learning how to sell yourself as a young professional and finding your path in a competitive field.
We'd love to learn more about your student experience as psychology students at the University of Guelph.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you guys have both faced as the co-presidents? If someone was watching this and they're in high school, what would you tell them? What stands out about the program of psychology at University of Guelph?
What study strategies and techniques or habits have helped you the most?
Are there any underrated psych careers that you didn't know about until later on in your degree?
As psychology leaders, do you have any advice for psychology students who might be watching right now?
Welcome to the Enriched Mindset Podcast. Lauren and Jaeden, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. We typically like to start these podcasts off with a bit of a dad joke or a psychology riddle. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, why did the neuron get invited to every party?
Why?
I couldn't tell you.
Because he had great connections.
That was a good one, Emilia.
Yeah.
All right, so I have one for you. What did the psychology student do before his thesis presentation?
I don't know.
I don't know. He psyched himself up. Makes sense.
Okay, all right, let's get into it. Could you both take a moment to sort of talk about your role, a little bit about you as well?
Sure, yeah. My name's Lauren. I'm the co-president of the Psychology Society. And
I'm Jaeden, and I'm the other co-president of the Psychology Society.
What school do you guys go to? What program are you in?
University of Guelph, we're both in psychology, and I'm a neuroscience minor.
So what are your responsibilities as co-presidents?
Yeah, so we oversee a group of executives. We help organize and plan events. We lead weekly team meetings. You want to jump in?
Yeah, pretty much everything that Lauren said, it's all varied throughout the year depending on how busy we are.
That's true.
We have a decent-sized group of executives. We have 21 executives that we oversee.
Yeah.
And we oversee all events, emailing, communication, and marketing as well.
Nice. Sounds like a lot of responsibility. What are some of your missions and goals for the UofG PsySoc?
I would say, one of the main missions and goals we have is just connecting the entire psychology student body together. I feel like it can be really hard navigating university and just your major by yourself, and we kind of pride ourselves in being that psychology student council, we like to call it, just to help everyone kind of navigate and network and feel comfortable with what they're doing now, but in the future as well.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is making sure that everyone has a space where they can make friends and learn more about psychology, kind of interact with other psychology students. And then as well, we want to make sure we give them opportunities where they can be in a more professional environment and make connections with people in the outside world, because I think that's really rare in psychology and really hard to do. And a lot of people don't know how to navigate that. And I think opening the door is to those kind of opportunities is really important.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Yeah. I was wondering, what steps did you take to reach your president status in third year, too?
I think you should go first.
Well, Lauren and I have two different kind of experiences when it comes to Psychology Society. I had applied in my first year going into second year, and I started off in PsySoc as a second year representative.
Okay.
And then just through that role, I got to gain some insights and kind of learn a little bit more about the club and how it works. And I really found myself gravitating towards wanting more responsibility and wanting more of a say in what goes on. And I would say our year rep roles are not lowest commitment, but they're pretty easygoing roles where you don't have as much responsibility, I would say. And I always found myself gravitating more towards like taking initiative and trying to take on more responsibilities. And then towards the end of my second year, when elections came up again, I was approached by our previous co-president, who is now our chair, Phoebe. And she approached me and asked me if I had ever considered taking on a leadership role in psychology. And I kind of said no at first, mainly just because I didn't have that confidence in myself that I could lead a group of people and be a good leader. And thankful to her, like she was such a great mentor, and I took that leap and I applied for co-president. And we did our interview process, and when I tell you the relief I felt when I got that email saying congratulations, and it kind of sparked a newfound passion in me for leadership, specifically in academia.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I was never on the Psychology Society before I became president, which is really controversial.
It's a little controversial.
Yeah, like so basically I found out about the Psychology Society and I knew I wanted to be a part of it, and originally I had just applied for third year rep and I think chairperson, and it was the last day of applications and I was just looking through all the available positions and I saw co-president and I was looking at the requirements, kind of what you need to do the role, and realized that I had those skills, just I hadn't gained them there yet. I was I don't know the exact position. I was like a head coach at a summer camp that I worked at, where I led an entire group of coaches and 40 plus kids, and I had kind of that leadership experience there, and I just kind of want to take a risk, and if I don't get it, then totally understandable, but I've always gravitated towards taking a leadership position, so I tried it, and I went through the interview, and I think it really shows how much selling yourself is important, because they did grill me on, this is the elephant in the room, is that we've never seen you before. Who are you? And I kind of just explained, I know I don't have experience on the Psychology Society. However, I think I have a lot of skills developed elsewhere that would be really beneficial and kind of sets me apart from other applicants. So, and they took me on, and I'm really grateful that they did.
Lauren was
awesome.
our
That's
only
awesome.
outsider applicant and ended up getting the role.
Yeah. That's unheard of, literally
I know.
unheard of.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it, and then the interview went really well, and they really liked me, and I was really excited about it, and I was so surprised that I got it, and it was so nerve-wracking at first, because I was like, I'm so new, and these people have all been here, and I feel and then it's you feel bad, being a leader when it's everyone's already been here, and it's I just feel out of place, and so having Phoebe there, like you said, was so important, because she was such a mentor and really helped me feel comfortable.
That's awesome. Yeah, I could speak from experience. You guys did such an amazing job hosting the career conference that you guys did. Can you talk about some of the events or achievements that you're particularly proud of from the Psych Society?
I would say, personally, I think Lauren could probably attest to this as well. Probably our big career conferences this year were something that we were really proud of. It's definitely a new concept that we've brought into the society this year. Last year, we had our first big ever conference. It was we called it the Psychology Banquet. Definitely on a smaller scale. Not a lot of people knew about the society yet at that time, and it was our first time doing something like that. And for us, it was there was one moment where Lauren and I were just sitting there. We were looking around the room, and Dr. Lee was there, and you guys were there, and we were just looking around, and I just felt so accomplished as a president and a leader at that point, because I had my entire team come together and create something so amazing with such a great turnout. But also, even a lot of our smaller events I'm super proud of, because I find that the Psychology Society is really good at balancing both sides of psychology when it comes to mental health, but also academia. So we've had a lot of great events where we just come together and we're able to really open up to our peers. And I feel like that is something I'm super proud of, that we've mainly created a space where people feel comfortable to do that.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. At the career conference, especially the one in November, I remember it was the first one. and I was literally looking at Jaeden with tears in my eyes. I was like, I'm just so happy that like everyone looks like they're enjoying themselves, and like I think it's so important for everyone to have this kind of opportunity, and it was going so smoothly, and I just was so like proud of just not only like us, but everyone that helped, everyone that was there. So there was definitely that, and then I think even our smaller events that not too many people go to, I still really am proud of them and think they're great because we always get new faces, and it's always these
amazing.
people that maybe they don't have a lot of friends, and it's just like it makes me happy that they can come here and like, you know, we all like are having a great time, and like even though that's not making business connections, and you know, it's still, I think it's equally as important for kind of to have those personal connections as well.
For sure.
So, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
You two have had such a successful year, and it's so nice like hearing all about it, and I'm seeing your posts on Instagram and on LinkedIn. I was also wondering, because you have such a large team, you said there was 21 executives that you two look over, how do you foster a sense of cohesion in the team?
Yeah, I think it's really great having the structure that has been laid out in the Psychology Society, where everyone gets a partner. So it's like 2 second-year reps. It's like there's twos of almost every position. And I think that helps because everyone, you can kind of lean on your partner. They also are going through the same thing. Yeah, and I think just making sure that everyone feels heard. Like we have these weekly meetings. We give everyone a chance to speak, give us updates. We have, I think, these anonymous feedback forms that we implemented at the beginning of our term, and I think that also gives people a space where they can bring up any concerns without feeling like
scared.
Yeah. 100%. So I think that helps a lot.
I honestly think I agree with like everything Lauren said, and I think we've also worked really hard to foster like a community where it feels more like a second family than like an academic club. I've met some of my closest friends on the Psychology Society, and we really like, I would say like we put an emphasis on just mutual respect. And the fact that everyone is here for a reason, everyone who is in this club deserves to be here and deserves to be heard. I like the fact that like we can all like sit and joke around and stuff like that and be more casual, and then when things get more serious, we all know like it's time to put your professional hat on, like get down to business. But we've definitely, I think this year especially, worked so hard to just create an open-minded, respectful environment where everyone just feels comfortable to be able to say what they need to say, do what they need to do without any sort of like fear or judgment.
Yeah. I also think I had the idea of Member of the Week, and
that was good.
Just every week we shout out one or two or multiple people that we think really did a good job, whether they had an event that past week or helped out with something. I think that like everyone getting a chance to feel like their contributions are seen and like they're respected, and like I think that really motivates them as well. And I think that adds into cohesion and working as a team.
For sure. So managing 21 people, hosting all these events, you know, being in school full time, having exams, how do you manage your leadership responsibilities and academics?
Yeah, that one's, it can be a challenge at time for sure, but I think I want to go back to like what Lauren said about like having your pair and having your other person to definitely lean on to is super important. And that's why honestly, like Lauren and I clicked so well from the very beginning, and we do so many things together that it's just so much easier. Like if she's having a really hard week, she can text me and be like, hey, I don't really have enough time to update the meeting agenda. Like, do you mind doing it this week? Or do you mind leading the meeting this week because I have a lot on my plate right now? And I'm like 100% absolutely sure. And then I can do the same for her, like if it comes up to a week where I'm having a really hard time. Because as much as we love being presidents in the Psychology Society, we are our own people. We're all still full-time students, and it can be a lot. Another thing I find really helps for me especially is calendars, to-do lists, and even like any other friends that I have that I can lean on to, like any friends that I have that are in my classes that I can just be like, hey, like, can you remind me to do this, that, and the other thing? Just because I know myself and I know I might forget, and that's how I need to keep on schedule.
Yep, I would say the exact same thing. Like, I think being in this position has really helped me work on my organizational skills and just making to-do lists, making a list of most priority to least, to doing all sorts of things like that to just stay on track is really important, because I feel like, especially when we have those big career conferences, like
it's a blur.
It's it just gets insane really quick, and making sure that you're on top of it all the time is really important in those moments. But I would say the rest of the year, like besides that hectic moment, it's very manageable.
Yeah, and you've successfully balanced everything. You're here now at the end of the semester. I was also wondering, what is the most rewarding part about being president, and will you be returning next year?
I hope so. We both applied. We haven't heard back yet.
We're doing our election process currently in the moment.
Yes, actually, literally. So we both hope. We loved it, and I think the most rewarding thing, at least for me, was just seeing everyone come together. And I think just, again, the career conferences, like, I hate to bring it up so much, but I think it is like such a great opportunity, and like that always makes me the most proud.
100%. Definitely the career conference, even if we've had like our guest speakers, like even like Dr. Lee as well, congratulate us and tell us things like it's a unique experience that we don't see a lot of university students giving to their students. And it's just really accomplishing for us to know that we're giving the University of Guelph that unique experience for psychology students, especially because psychology isn't like a huge major in Guelph. Like, you've got like your agriculture, you got engineering, you've got veterinary. Psychology kind of just gets lost in the mix a little bit. I think, but the biggest thing for me as president is when I get to see some of our members who are a little bit more shy or more reserved in the beginning of the year, like, really come out of their shell and like I get to see their skills shine super bright by the end of the year. And I think that's like the biggest accomplishment for me. And on top of that, I've already had a couple of our executives like ask me to be like a reference on their resume. And I'm like, the fact that you see me as a leader and a mentor in that sense, like, really, like, it warms my heart, and it just validates that you're doing a good job.
So we're very interested about personality psychology. So one of our members, Olivia, wrote a blog about like the different personality types. So we're just curious, what are your personality styles, and how do you think they merge or like conflict in any way?
I don't think we have many conflicts between us.
Do you know what's the test called?
It's the personality test. So I actually did it in class the other day. I think it said that I'm a campaigner. I'm an ENFP or T. Or maybe there's a J in there. I actually can't remember. Honestly, my personality and Lauren's personality, I feel like we mesh really well together.
I think our leadership styles are so opposite, but that's what makes it work, because we complement each other.
It's like less like, we are definitely like opposite of tracks in that sense. Like, instead of like bumping heads because we're different, we find a way to like merge it all together. And I feel like we work very seamlessly as co-presidents in that sense, because especially like even our strengths and weaknesses, they complement each other literally perfectly. And things that Lauren's really, really good at, I might not be great at. And it just makes everything so easy. Like, I honestly think that our personalities, in the sense of like who we are internally as people, is also really similar at its core, which definitely helps.
I'm an INFP, I think, and that's a mediator, I think. And so I'm introverted. I'm definitely introverted. I tend to be more quiet.
Perfect place for you right now.
And so, it was definitely like I had to come out of my shell, and it was uncomfortable at first. However, there are also, like, I was actually looking at this the other day, and it says how, like, in your workplace, like, as a, what's it called, as a manager, as an employee, have you seen those? Like, on I was reading mine, and it says that even though I'm an introvert and I'm quieter, and maybe I'll stay quiet in certain situations, I am very empathetic and very supportive, and I think that's where I really shine, and making sure everyone feels respected and heard, and that their needs are being met. I think that's really, I think that's,
Oh, yeah.
a big
100%.
part. And then I feel like for you, you're just like a very natural leader. Like you just like
I just think I talk
very
a lot.
outgoing. Like she's very good at public speaking, and you're very good at thinking on the spot. Like she at the last career conference, literally, like we didn't have a speech planned or anything, and she was like, let's just go up and say something. I'm like, okay. And she literally like said the most beautiful, emotional, like touching speech I've ever heard, and it was all on the spot, and it was like beautiful. Like she didn't stutter once, and I was just admiring you, and I was like, wow. So I feel like that's like your strength. For sure.
I think we definitely complement each other in that sense, where it's just the things that I know that she can even like, you can tell me when you're like, hey, like I don't really feel super comfortable doing this. I'm like, I got it.
Yeah.
And then like when I have like an issue and I'm like, hey, like I don't really know what to do right now, you're like, I got it.
Yeah.
So I think like it works so well.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. It's great to hear how well you two work as presidents. I was wondering, being your second year in psych, Jaeden, and your first year in psych, Lauren, how has being involved in this club shaped your own academic and professional goals?
Yeah, I think it's really opened doors for a lot of other opportunities. I mean, that's literally how me and Dr. Lee connected, through SciSoc and him coming to the career conference, and now I volunteer for Enriched Mindset. So I think that's definitely one big example. And I also work as a blog writer for Everworth Counseling Services. It's a counseling practice in Guelph. And she took me on because she had also been previously on the Psychology Society like years before. And so I think like me being co-president like resonated. So I think that as well. But yeah, what about you?
I think SciSoc has definitely given me a newfound appreciation for academia. I was never big on just school in general. I mean, obviously, you got to do what you got to do to get where you want in life, but I was always like 100% like zoning in on the finish line, like when can I be done school so I can start my career? And being in Psychology Society and attending and hosting academic events and stuff like that has definitely given me a newfound appreciation for it. And I would say that it's also definitely helped me out in where I want to go in my career moving forward. As most psychology students, my career path in my head was always, I'm going to be a clinical psychologist. I'm going to go get my PhD. I'm going to be a doctor. And then after being in Psychology Society and attending all these networking events and having to network myself with different professors and stuff to get them to on our panels and to get them to our events and just like talking to multiple people, my career path has shifted into something that more resonates more with my type of lifestyle and what I want to do when I'm older. And I don't think I would have done that without SciSoc. I think it's definitely the reason where I'm going is because I'm on this team right now.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you guys have both faced as the co-presidents, and how did you sort of come across them, and how did you make amends with those challenges?
That's a hard one. Honestly, like I feel like we're pretty fortunate.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of adversity with our role and our team at all. I definitely think it's a little nerve-wracking the first like couple stressful situations you might have, whether it's like when you're planning a big conference and things don't go to plan, or if someone's got like a little tidbit of like adversity. I think it's like definitely it puts you in a stressful situation because those are like the main conflicts you're gonna have to deal with like as president, is kind of going around those types of challenges. But I think we're pretty fortunate in the fact that we've worked so hard to create this community and this environment that when that sort of stress arises, it's really easy to overcome and get over because you just have a simple conversation, you take a breath, you slow down, you look at alternate solutions, you again work with your partner, work with not just your partner but the people around you. Everyone on the society is so open to lending a hand to anything that you need. There's always, I guarantee 100% of the time, someone where if you were to put into our chat, like, hey, I need help with this, within 5 minutes, you'll get like 3 people who are like, hey, I can help you with that. So I definitely think that we're very fortunate in that sense. But when it does happen, we just lean on each other.
Yeah, I would just say maybe for me, like I said, naturally being an introvert and my tendency is to be more quiet. I think being in this position forced me to like go out of my comfort zone, because I know that as a leader I need to speak up, and I need to, if there's something that, you know, is important, I have to say it. And I think in the very, very beginning, I was leaning on Jaeden a lot, because she was also more experienced, like I was new, and I was like, I feel like I don't really know what I'm doing right now. And then eventually I was like, okay, I need to take initiative, and I need to
100%.
really be a leader, and really, and I think I'm more comfortable with that now, even though it might not be like my inherent personality, and it's not my tendency. It's like I'm very comfortable with kind of switching on, okay, like it's time to be outgoing and, you know, and deliver criticism if it's needed. And
I've definitely seen that come out in Lauren too. Like versus the beginning of the year till now. In the beginning of the year, I feel like Lauren was a little bit more shy when it came to giving criticism or like constructive feedback. And then by the end of the year, I think I watched her come out of her shell, which was so amazing. And it was less of, like, obviously we go to each other, you know, to just get approval from one another, like to do things. But there was less of like, hey, do you think it's okay for me to do this? And more of, hey, I think that we should do this. I think this would be best for everybody. And I can definitely attest to that Lauren's definitely come out of her shell in the society.
Thanks. And that's why I think, like, even if you have a personality type that is not inherently suitable for something, it doesn't mean, like, we're humans, we're flexible, and we can adapt to new situations. I think that's a good example of that.
Yeah, and through these experiences, what specific skills have you gained that you think are valuable for the future?
Networking.
Being able to talk to not only your peers but professionals, and take initiative, leadership skills.
I think I learned a lot of professionalism. Like being in the society, just how to conduct yourself in a more professional way, in a way that radiates leadership and authority. I think that's really important when you're in the president role, especially for people like me and Lauren, who are like, maybe there's people who are on the society right now who have been there longer than we have. And, you know, like, it's a little bit different when they see like people who are less experienced maybe come into these roles. And I definitely think a skill that we've worked on is confidence in ourselves and within our roles.
That's a good one.
I think in the beginning it was a lot of like uncertainty about whether or not I belong here and whether or not like I deserve the role that I'm in. And one of the biggest skills I had to learn and pick up on is just confidence in the fact that I am where I'm supposed to be, and how to conduct myself in a way that showed people that I'm confident in my position as well.
Yeah, and I think because I was new at the beginning, I didn't have that confidence. And even though I'm a leader, I still felt like if I do this, like, I feel like I'm stepping over the line. Like I'm, you know, like I shouldn't, because they've been here longer. Like, who am I to say this, you know? But I think finding that confidence was, I think a massive skill that is really
100%.
important. And
Yeah. Has being a part of the society changed the way that you approach your studies, your research interests, or just anything in general?
Yeah. Yep.
I think I've always been a person to change up what I want to do. Like, I really, really like all aspects of psychology, and I could see myself doing a lot of different things. And I think being on the Psychology Society and getting exposed to a lot more career paths was definitely interesting. And I still, honestly, like, I don't really have a clear path or idea of what I want to do. But yeah, it changes all the time.
I think my main thing was that I realized that there's two different types of psychology students. And I think that reflects really well in me and Lauren. Lauren's a research nut. She loves research. She loves everything research. We will go on walks together to get some fresh air, and she will pull out some random brain fact.
I'll be like, isn't it
"What?"
so cool that blah, blah, blah?
She'll be like, did you know when they did this on rats? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. And whereas like I'm on the side where I'm like, I just want to get into helping people. I just want to get into having conversations with people and like getting to pick their brains and stuff like that. And I think that it really shines through when you look at Psychology Society. But I definitely think in terms of research, I've found a new appreciation for it. I now understand that you can't have psychology without having research. But I've also realized that I don't have to go into a career path that's 110% completely research focused. I don't even necessarily need to do a thesis if I don't want to. And I definitely think it's opened up research opportunities and different career paths that are either research focused or not as research focused.
Okay, why don't we take a little break from the questions? We can do a little game of psychology myth or fact. So I have some myths or facts on my iPad here.
Slay. Oh, we get to see
my
the
gosh.
iPad. Awesome.
You guys can just flip through them
Okay.
and tell us if it's a myth or a fact.
Short-term memory can hold about 7 items at once. Hey, you are the brain nut, so there you go.
7 items? I don't know the exact amount. I feel like
Short-term? I feel like my brain can probably hold on to less than that. I have really awful short-term memory loss. So
I'm going to say that's a myth.
I'm going to say it's a myth too. No, what?
So it's a fact. According to Miller's law, the average capacity of short-term memory is 7 plus or minus 2 items.
Wow, my
So it's
brain's
about
so
7.
I thought it
behind.
would have been less.
Our ADHD brains are so
Yeah.
behind.
All right, next one.
Your personality is fully developed at age 7.
No.
That's a myth. That has to be a myth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a myth.
I was going to say.
My personality is very different from when I was 7 years old.
All right.
Okay.
While resting, people only use 10% of their brains. Resting as in
Like,
like
asleep?
or
Like
just
unconscious?
like
or like just like
sitting,
chilled
not
out?
Chilling.
Oh, I feel like that's got to be a myth.
Myth.
I use
More,
far too
I
much
feel
of my
like.
brain.
Yes, it's a myth, yes.
Okay.
babies are born with some ability to recognize faces. Yes, that's a fact.
That is a fact, yes.
Yes.
Developmental
They have a
psychology.
preference for face-like patterns. They have the research studies of
Yeah.
just the white with the 2 like dots
Yeah.
for eyes, and
Yeah.
they have a preference for that.
Yeah.
Left brain people are logical, right brain. That's a myth.
I feel like you have to say it.
Oh, left brain people are logical, and right brain people are creative. Like I feel like that one's.
I thought it was the opposite.
100% sure that not 100%. That's a lie. But I'm pretty sure that was like debunked, like being left brain versus right brained.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a myth.
It's a very common myth. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Next one.
Listening. Oh my goodness, Jaeden. Pronunciation today. Listening to Mozart makes you smarter. That's a myth.
Fact. I think, weren't there studies
Of,
that...
like when babies listen to Mozart in the womb.
No, I think...
Because I've seen that one.
Like, I think music is really good for cognition. But
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know,
think music
smarter
in general,
is the
though.
good...
Not necessarily classical music.
Yeah, maybe myth.
This specific one is a myth.
Okay.
It can improve like mood and stuff like
Okay.
that, but it doesn't boost your IQ. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
We
Really?
should play Uno and listen to Mozart.
Oh, maybe it was like, what was it? I think it was playing an instrument might have
Yes.
been that. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, makes sense.
They use that in Alzheimer's therapy. You can rewire your brain through experience and learning. I feel like that has to be a fact.
Yeah, fact.
Yes, it's a fact.
Okay.
Neuroplasticity.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. Well,
There we go.
you guys did really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for playing with us.
No problem.
We'd love to learn more about your student experience as psychology students at the University of Guelph. How has this role enriched your experience as a psychology student?
In so many ways, for sure. Being with other psychology majors all the time is definitely like, not only do you make those personal connections, but you feel more motivated. And then there's like people that you know in your classes, and then you guys can kind of lean on each other. Yeah, I think there's just so many ways.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah.
The whole motivation thing.
Yeah.
Me and Lauren and a lot of our friends do a lot of body doubling when it comes to psychology. And it's like, listen, like if you're not motivated to study, I'm not motivated to study. Let's just sit in the same room and study. And I genuinely feel like knowing that she's also working on psychology and I'm working on psychology definitely motivates me. But also, like I said before, like psychology at the University of Guelph kind of gets lost in the mix amongst other bigger majors, especially as like a social science, because we're not technically like a science like physics, biology, and whatnot. So I definitely think like being on the society gives you more of a chance to really explore psychology as a major, because there aren't as many, like the university itself, I feel like doesn't do as many like psychology marketed events and stuff like that. And again, like our society was the first like psychology society we have at Guelph. Now we've got like a bunch of different branches. We've got a neuroscience society, we've got student wellness and stuff like that. But I feel like through this club, it definitely gives you motivation to like branch out and just like look and be creative with it as well.
Yeah. And what stands out, like if someone was watching this and they're in high school, what would you tell them? What stands out about the program of psychology at University of Guelph? Do you guys have any like specialized courses, any specific research opportunities, hands-on opportunities?
I would say I don't think, if I'm being fully candid, I don't think the program itself is super unique.
Yeah.
I would say
feel
I
like
don't
it's
think a
pretty
lot
standard.
of people go to Guelph for psychology. I think people go to Guelph for agriculture and among other things. So I wouldn't say, I don't think I can answer that for the program, but I would say that at least for me, I've had great experiences with the professors there. I think they're all very enthusiastic. It could just be my experience, but in all the psychology courses I've taken, I've really been able to enjoy them even more because the professor taking it is so nice and understanding and enthusiastic. So I would say that, like, I feel like, and I think that's so important, at least for me, like if I'm taking a course, especially if it's really demanding, having a professor at the front of the class who's like super happy to be there and passionate, like it makes me passionate. So
100%. And I think like what you said, like if we're being like completely 110% honest, the University of Guelph isn't known for psychology. Like a lot of people don't choose the University of Guelph for psychology specifically. I think like the university experience itself definitely helps. I feel like we've got such a great campus. We've got so much stuff around us, which definitely motivates you just to be an academic in general. And for sure, if you're looking for something that's a psychology with a little more lenient, I feel like the University of Guelph is really good for. Obviously, if you go somewhere like McMaster or UofG, it's going to be like hard academia 100% of the time, like, but I feel like with the University of Guelph you get to have sort of academia balanced with like the social aspect of psychology as well, which I personally find is like super important. That was my deciding factor, at least when I was choosing literally between U of T, Mac, and Guelph. For my universities, it was a lot of me thinking realistically and thinking about, well, would I enjoy my time in university if it was solely academic focused? And my answer was no. So I chose somewhere where I would have a good student experience as well.
yeah, I definitely agree with
Yeah. And with the UofG psych courses, what study strategies and techniques or habits have helped you the most?
I am crazy about my study techniques.
She is.
Like
100%.
I have a very specific routine. I will write all of my notes by hand like so many times until my hand falls off. Cue cards, whether I'll like make them on Quizlet or physical. Active recall, I think. Just like, I think with ADHD, I just am very forgetful sometimes, and really making sure it's like imprinted in my brain
100%.
is like really helpful for me. Even like whiteboards, like going to the study room and using the whiteboard and like, or teaching it to someone, like I think that really helps, like explaining the concept. Or even like I'll go through my notes, see what was like really highlighted in the lectures a lot, or things that I should focus on, and I'll make my own practice questions. I think a lot of professors really like that. Like they always encourage you to make your own questions instead of like having them generated, because then you're using like critical thinking and then,
I can definitely attest to that. There's been times where Lawrence has sat in my bed and I'm like, are you talking to yourself? She's like, no, I'm reading my notes. I'm like, okay. But again, like I said before, body doubling is my biggest thing. My ADHD manifests in a lack of motivation. So when there's someone in the room that I know is studying and I know is working really hard, it motivates me to be like, oh, I want to be like them. So I want to study and work really hard too right now. Another big thing is whiteboards. I'm a whiteboard stan. I absolutely adore whiteboards. And another really big thing that I like to do is I'd like to prioritize what I'm studying, especially if it comes to an exam. I don't really want to spend too much time studying things that I already know off by heart. I feel like that's a waste of my time, and I feel like I'm going nowhere with it. I feel like when I'm studying, a really big thing for me is to have an objective. So I go through and I do what Lauren does. I make practice questions, and any question or topic that I find myself having a really hard time with, or that's the one that I'm having, I don't understand as much, or I'm having a really hard time remembering, those are the questions that I will go back and focus on the most.
Makes sense. Are you guys involved in any research at the moment?
No.
I didn't even tell you this yet.
What?
But I'm volunteering over the summer remotely for Dr. Dawson's research lab. She's not thanks. She's not a psych prof, but she does a lot of work on violence against women, and she examines patterns in Canadian jurisdiction to inform intervention strategies and things like that. Like she does a lot of really powerful work, and it really resonated with me, and that's kind of what I'm going to be doing this summer.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's so cool, yeah. And even outside of SciSoc or research, what other ways do you get involved in psychology?
From personal experience, both of my parents are in the field of mental health. They both started off as child and youth workers. My dad now works contracted under a company for staffing for respite work, and my mom's an intervention support worker. And I spent a lot of my work experience working in camps with children with disabilities. So that is my way that I like to get involved. I will go volunteer with my mom. I'll do some work with my dad, and then over the summer I try and get back involved in camps and stuff like that. I find it to be super rewarding in that sense.
That's really meaningful work.
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm also volunteering for Enriched Mindset. So I think that's a big thing where I'm kind of also getting exposed to psychology in a lot of different ways. And I'm also not volunteering. I'm working at Everworth Counseling Services as a blog writer. And so every week I'm writing blogs on different aspects of psychology, whether it's a mental disorder or just something common that people go through. Like I talked about seasonal affective disorder.
Talked about ADHD manifesting in men versus women.
Yeah, the differences between women and men I think is really interesting. All sorts of things like that.
Very, very cool. Are there any underrated psych careers that you didn't know about until later on in your degree or through the conferences?
Through our last conference, I learned about community psychology. Essentially, their whole thing is they focus more on prevention rather than active treatment. I definitely really do appreciate, though, the need for prevention over active treatment, because if you can stop it from happening in the first place, that's probably the best thing. But also, the whole realm of psychotherapy was pretty new to me up until the last 2 years. I really just thought that the only route that you could go through was clinical psychology if you wanted to be a practicing therapist, whatnot. So yeah, those are definitely the two that definitely show. Oh, and IO.
IO was very
a very new thing to me.
I thought I wanted to go into that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I will. But I think also reality TV psychology. When we had Dr. Stevenstein, I feel like I'm promoting the but no, I'm being so serious. That was such a great episode, and I've never considered that before. If you don't know, he has done a lot of work in a lot of popular reality TV shows as a psychologist.
So awesome.
Yeah, and it's just I've never thought about that before, and it really goes to show like all the different things you can do.
We should put Dr. Stevens on Love Island.
Maybe he is.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think that was a big one for me.
Yeah, that's a crazy one.
Yeah, and through your experiences, what's one stereotype or myth that you found to be not true about psychology students?
Psychology students are stupid.
I
feel
was
like
gonna
that's
say
the
that.
biggest myth.
I think people think it's like an easy
Because it's not like they say
Like
it's
a
not
bird.
a real
Yeah.
science.
and like yes, it's not engineering and it's not like med school. I'm not, obviously
lot of
those are
work still
but it's
goes
still it
into
doesn't mean
it.
that it's easy. I wouldn't say it's easy.
It's not easy.
I would say, and especially if you're doing whatever you're doing in psychology is like it's a lot of work, it's a lot of memorization. The textbook is super heavy. But I find like I'm literally doing like biology and chemistry and like all these things in my major, which I did not think, and I'm getting a Bachelor of Arts. I'm not even,
Like it's like those little like because you have to know like little tidbits about biology and chemistry and like physics, but like you don't learn the whole concept, but you learn like what you need to know about it. And honestly, I think that can even like be a challenge in itself. And I feel like the biggest myth is like, oh, people only go into psychology because they don't know what they want to do with the rest of their lives. And I'm like, well, you know what? Even that's okay though. Like, why is that such a big deal? Like, psychology is such a diverse major, and you know what? That's a challenge in itself. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the more popular ones that I've heard is that we're all like mentally ill.
Yeah.
Or that you're gonna like psychoanalyze everybody that you meet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since it is stress month right now, can you guys share your favorite ways to de-stress?
You wanna go first?
Sure. I already know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say skincare. You always say that. I would have to agree. I think skincare and just like taking a night to just get back on top of things. Like I think my stress
Sunday reset.
will come primarily from like feeling like I'm not on top of my stuff that I have to do. And so like taking a night to kind of get organized and lay it all out, and then also like make sure I'm taking care of myself and like eating enough, I think is good for me.
Yeah, food is definitely your love language.
It is.
Lauren will stay at my house. I'll go to class. I'll come home. I'll be like, "Are you hungry? I'm making lunch." She's like, "Yes, please." You're so welcome. But yeah, my thing, I'm a little bit opposite in the sense of Lauren, where like the first thing I want to do when I'm stressed is like not think about any of that. I feel like when I try and do those things, like make a list, it just makes me more overwhelmed. So I like to just take pride in a lot of like the self-care that I do, whether that's my skincare routine at the end of the night, going on a walk to grab coffee, sitting and just talking with my friends and talking with my family about things that don't have to do with what I'm stressed. Like I just, for me, de-stressing is like completely being able to take my mind away from the certain thing that I'm stressing on.
Yeah, self-care is so important. So we kind of wanted to know more about your personal growth. In what ways has your role as president kind of contributed to your growth as a psychology student?
I think it's just made me more dedicated and motivated to my studies in general. I think having that outlet, I don't know what it is, but just being involved in the school and the university, it just makes you appreciate, I think, academics so much more, at least in my experience.
I honestly think like the same thing. It gives me something to be proud of. It gives me something that I can like flaunt and be accomplished of. Like when people like tell me like, hey, how are you doing? Like, what are you doing nowadays? And I get to be like, well, I'm the co-president of the Psychology Society of Guelph. And yeah, definitely motivates me to do more. Like, even if it's like promoting on our socials and stuff like that, or like thinking of new ideas to bring to the club, it just makes me a more motivated psychology student. And it just makes me want to do more with psychology and take the initiative to do extra things.
And I think also, like I said, I kind of am more introverted, and I think being exposed and being always in an environment where you kind of have to turn that off and talk and be outgoing and put yourself out there, like it's definitely made me way more likely to go up to professors and start networking and just like general. I think always like being exposed to that has made me so much more comfortable with it. Whereas before I would kind of just, go to my classes, do my own thing and like not be involved anywhere else. And I think now that I have this outlet, like I've just been exposed to that environment a lot more and been more comfortable with it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So at the beginning you said that you're interested in neuroscience and you're more interested in child psychology. What are your career aspirations?
I definitely want to pursue grad school. I really want to write a thesis. I want to, get my master's. I hopefully PhD. Like I'm not too sure how I'll feel after a master's and what I'll do, but I am someone that really likes school. Like I love learning. And I'm actually really terrified for when I actually have to like stop being a student, do like a job. Like that is crazy to me. So just like as much school as like I'm able to, I think.
That's where the opposites attract. When I'm done my undergrad, I definitely want to pursue a master's because you can't be a practicing therapist without a master's. But I definitely want, like, I'm like eager to get into like the nitty gritty work of it. I'm hoping to take a gap year in between my undergrad and master's just to like get into the field because I feel like I would suffer from a lot of burnout if I just went year after year of school. And I honestly, like with the newfound appreciation of school, I think that having to go year after year, I would lose that appreciation. So I'm hoping to like get into the workforce, definitely, again, like do what I love doing. I love working with children. I love working with children with disabilities and their families. Hopefully maybe do some work with my dad in that sense. And then I would love to go into a master's of either social work or psychotherapy. And like my 110% like dream job, like 20 years in the future goal is to be able to open a non-for-profit company where any child and youth and their families can get access to mental health resources without worrying about financial burden.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, and we were wondering, as psychology leaders, do you have any advice for psychology students who might be watching right now?
Do your work.
Yeah. Like,
do not procrastinate.
I think at the end of the day, the student experience is really important in university, and that balance is really important. But I think something I regret in first year is not being as dedicated. And it's, I think I also just like I was recently diagnosed with ADHD and I had no idea what that meant and like no idea that I could be a good student because my whole life I was kind of just like expected. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, but I think after that, it really helped me like succeed in school. And so I would just say like, make sure you're getting your work done and you're prioritizing that too, because it's really important, especially if you want to do school after.
Yeah. I suffered from the same thing. Actually, the last 3 years, it wasn't until I met Lauren and Phoebe that I started pursuing my own ADHD diagnosis because kind of like what Lauren said, like when you're especially a woman with ADHD, you get labeled as just like lazy and a bad student. And then I met Lauren and Phoebe and I was like, oh my gosh, like you guys are like me. And they were like, we got diagnosed and it was the best thing for us. And now I'm going through that process as well. But definitely 100%, I wish I had looked into it when I was in my earlier years, like looked into different strategies and different things I could do to help myself focus more on academia. So I would definitely say like to any like incoming psychology students or currents, be aware. Be aware of yourself and your limits and things that you may potentially be struggling with that you might be ignoring. Don't ignore those things because the second you get help for those things or figure those things out is the second that you become a better student and get better at doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think in high school, I found the transition honestly really rough for me because I think in high school, it's so much easier to be on top of things and like our teachers are always reminding you about this is coming up, you know, this is coming, and then it's just like that was easier for me. And then going into university, it's like I have to be in charge and make sure like if I miss a deadline, like you don't get a reminder. You
don't have a teacher texting you being like, hey, you didn't submit this.
You don't get like an email sent home or like, so it's, I think going into what I would say for students is going into university or at least your first year, like making sure those skills are set in stone.
Time management skills.
Yeah.
because like a lot of university is definitely like in high school you have like your set periods and they're like, okay, like this is a work period. This period is just for you to like work on your stuff after we give you your lesson, and then you hit university and you're like, oh my gosh, I have all this free time. I only have like 2 lectures today and then I have the rest of my day off, and it's like, no, like that time is for you to study and actually like learn.
That's so true.
And read your textbook. Like you don't have work periods at home. It's all homework.
That's very true. Like I think high school is very structured, and university you get to make your own schedule and you have so much more freedom. A lot of people are living away from home, and it just like it's so easy to get caught up in that and not realize. And I think just staying present and realizing and being responsible is really important.
Make a list. Google Calendar, Notion, whatever you can do.
Thank you both so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your insights into psychology student leaders and a little bit about what it's like to be a psych student at UofG. So thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We love being here.